page 270. Now this question illustrates issues regarding losses. Okay. Alright, it says that Sulin Realty, Sendirian Berhad. This is a company. A company means you will not get Schedule 4 exemption. Fair enough? Okay. Company means you will not get Schedule 4 exemption. Now Sulin Realty has an unabsorbed RPGT loss relief of 4,000. This is the old loss. Okay. That's the old loss. Alright, first they tell you there's a house that it was sold for 250,000 on the 4th of July 2011. So that's the date of disposal. It was purchased for 43,000 on the 9th of March 2007. The legal fees 2005 were incurred, and then in 2008 they spent 15,500 for extension, which is an enhancement cost. Now on the 5th of April 2010, the company received 80,000 being compensation for damage caused to the house. Now it's just to let you know, the money you get back over here, it's 11. So that's the date of this. Advertising, quick rent. Now quick rent is income tax, so you just ignore it. You don't want, okay? Alright, now there's another land which was purchased for 400,000 on 5th June 2006 with a size of 5 acre. This land was sold for 100,000 on 10 March 2012. So this is the date of disposal. Now there's another land sold for 250,000 on 10 March 2012. It's the same year of assessment. Was purchased for 170,000 on 5th of June 2008. Following expenses, the cost of purchase. Right, work out the RPGT for Sulin Realty. Okay. Now the first one we're going to see here is the one to do with the house disposed in 2011. Okay. Now this house that we disposed in 2011, okay, it's a bit special. It's a bit special because of the issue that your recovery is more than your cost. Now in fact, if you also notice the second house that you dispose, the shop house, you actually dispose them at a loss. You notice that? You're disposing it at a loss because this house is 340,000, you're selling it at 480, and it's in the same year. Okay. Now, so I think it's just an easier way for me to show you the figure. Let me show you the shop first. Now in the exam, obviously, if you can't see, then you just do one by one. Okay. But here, I just want to be easier for y'all. We look at the shop first. Okay, this shop, the date of disposal is 14 August 11. Date of acquisition is 7 August 07. Which year is that? So August 2008, 2009, August 2010, August 2011. Now this is on the 14th, which is after the 7th. So this is the 5th year at 5%. Now for this shop, Sulin is disposing it at a price of 340,000. And for that disposal, Sulin incurred 200 ringgit on advertisement to find a buyer. So there will be 339,800. That's your disposal price. And you notice they tell you the acquisition price is 400, 800. Now immediately you will see there's an allowable loss of 61,000. Now which year of assessment that this loss can be utilized? You can use it in YA 2011 or later, because this is 2011. Understand? Now that's why anything that you dispose in 2011, you can utilize it or later. Follow up or later. Okay? Now, the date does not matter. So you're gonna turn back to the front and now look at the house. Okay? Turn back to the front and now we'll look at the house. Okay. So this house, the date of disposal is 4th of July 11. Date of acquisition is 9th of March 07. So which year is that? March 08, March 9, March 10, March 11. This is in July, which is after March. So it's also the 5th year at 5%. Okay, it's the 5th year at 5%. All right. Now you see, when I calculate the tax for this house, the gain for this house, the disposal price is based on the price I'm selling. I'm selling this for how much? 250,000. And I spend 15,500 to enhance the property. So 250 minus 15,500 is 234,500. Now what is my acquisition price? See, I've told you just now that there's something very special case over here. Because of your recovery is more than your cost. Okay? Now, so if you show the acquisition price, you will actually realize that this house, you bought it for 43,000, and then you pay a legal fee of 2,500, so it's 45,500. But actually you receive 80,000 compensation. Now that gave us acquisition price that is 0. You don't have an acquisition price over here. Agree or not? It's negative already. Where got acquisition price? You see now? Now in that case, it will immediately turn into a gain of 34,500. And that gain is in YA 2010. Because that is the year you receive the compensation. This compensation received on 5th of April 2010. That means you treat this as your date of acquisition. You treat this as your date of acquisition. Okay, so if this is the 5th of April 2010, which year would that be? So March 07 to March 08, March 09, March 10, this is April, so it's the 4th year, fair enough? So 4th year, the rate is 15%. Okay, 4th year, the rate is 15%. So what's your RPGT? Now you're going to get an exemption, right? Remember the formula? Now I'll just show one more time only. It's the same thing. I know I'll show again and again and again. Okay? So we just take the gain times the rate minus the gain. If this effective rate is 5%, you take 5%. Divide by the gain times the rate times the gain. So shortcut is 15 minus 5 is 10 out of 15 times 34,500. You should be getting 23,000. Then you get 11,500. And your tax will be 1725. Alright? Now, here is where you take note of the loss relief. The loss relief, the old loss is given against the tax. So you're going to minus your loss relief brought forward 1725. So actually you have no tax to pay. Okay, now then you will have your loss relief carry forward. So 4,000 minus 1725 will be 2275. Okay, so we just finish off with this special issue. Now you go back to finish off the tax con for the house. So after you work out this thing, then you know already the acquisition price is 0. Okay, acquisition price is 0. And your gain will be 234,500. Now you don't have schedule 4 in this case because this is a company, okay? Okay, but there's one thing you adjust here, which is your allowable loss. Because just now remember I've told you in Y 2011 you dispose of a shop and you've made a loss. No doubt the date of disposal is later, but it's in the same year. The loss you can utilize one, okay? So this 61,000, you can use it over here. Okay, I don't think in the first place in one exam question, your examiner will put all these adjustments together. But I want to show you, so that's why I have all the adjustment at the same time, okay? So if that's the case, then it's harder. But exam, I don't think so, okay? Now, so after you minus off the loss, this is the gain subject to RPGT. Now minus with the exemption, multiply with the effective rate. That's your RPGT. Now friend, you should be able to understand that if your rate is already 5%, then whatever formula you show to calculate, you must get back 0. Because it's effective at 5%. There's no more exemption you can get. So 173,500. 5% is 8675. And not forgetting, you still have a loss relief that you have not finished utilizing just now. So the loss relief brought forward is 2275. RPGT will be 6,004. Okay, move on. Okay, so this to do with the house and the shop. Now can we just look at the land now? Now the first piece of land, you dispose it on 10th of March and you acquire it on the 5th of June. So how many years would that be? June 07, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is already more than 5 years. Now actually more than 5 years, the rate is still 5%. Right? Just that it's exempted. Okay, but the rate is still 5%. But just after you calculate, everything is exempted. Okay. Now, so This land, you dispose it for 100,000. How much you've paid for the land? You've paid 400,000, but that's for how many acres? 5 acres. So you apportion it to 2 out of 5. Now that's 160,000. So you get a negative 60. What do you call this? Allowable loss. And what is so special about this loss? Anything special about this loss? This is a loss occur for disposal after 5 years. Anything after 5 years, the loss is disregarded. You're just going to ignore it, okay? That's it. It's nothing you need to do. Ignore it. Alright, now we have the last piece of land that we dispose it on the 10th of March and we acquire it on the 5th of June. So 10th of March and 5th of June, which year is that? June 08 to June 09. June 9, June 10, June 11, June 12. That's in the 4th year, which is at 15%. So you dispose this land for 250,000, and then you acquire it for 170. So the gain will be 80. Now allowable loss is nil because you ignore it. Okay? If not, you would have deducted the loss, but because it's more than 5 years,